relax knowing that Geico's... Oh, I forgot that was on there.
For a free rate quote, visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody's talking at me.
This is CRN Digital Talk Radio, the original talkback with Jeff Wilder. Paul Stern taking the toll-free calls at 1-800-336-2225, 1-800-336-2225. We're live across America on this, your favorite radio station or cable system, and, of course, around the world at www.crntalk.com. Today's guest, Carrie Pickett, she's with the Washington Times. Going to be discussing her live conversation with L.A. City Councilman Ed Reyes, and he refused to answer a simple question. The question was, should illegals be deported? Bob Unruh, news editor for WorldNet Daily, utterly ridiculous. The feds are telling the court that they can decide what you eat. Jim Corey, Vice President, National Association Chiefs of Police. Lots of stories coming up, and one of them, let me find it real quick here in my notes. A Muslim group is now targeting a GOP congressional candidate. We'll be looking at that and much more. Let's look at some of the news. Well, Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano, who's been a vocal critic of the new Arizona immigration law, has now told Senator John McCain in a back-and-forth question, and the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee yesterday, that she had not reviewed the law in detail. She hasn't read the bill, but nevertheless repeated criticism that she made on ABC's Good Morning America that the law is bad, the law enforcement law. You know, when you think about this, Holder, he didn't read the Arizona bill. Janet Napolitano didn't read the bill. President Obama probably didn't read the bill. And yet, they want us to vote on the health care bill, and we don't even get to see it. There's something wrong with that picture, but not quite sure what it is. Well, the White House will not explore whether Supreme Court nominee Elena Kagan violated the law when she did not allow military recruiters at Harvard Law School. Quote, I don't think anybody in the White House counsel office had to research that, said White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs. He said that yesterday. I don't think anybody has ever brought anything to say that she's ever been in violation of the law. A conservative advocacy group, however, says Kagan's refusal to comply with federal law, repeat, her refusal to comply with federal law by cooperating with military recruiters at Harvard is reason enough for the Senate to reject her nomination as Supreme Court Justice. I think there's a D behind her name, as in Democrat, and that ain't going to happen. At a ceremony honoring veterans and senior citizens who sent presents to soldiers overseas, Attorney General Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut rose and spoke of an earlier time in his life. Quote, we have learned something important since the days that I served in Vietnam. That's what Mr. Blumenthal said to the group gathered in Norwalk, March 2008, and you exemplify it. Whether we think about the war, whatever we call it, Afghanistan or Iraq, we owe our military men and women unconditional support. He is absolutely right in that remark, but he's not right in the remark that what I learned since I served in Vietnam, because there's one problem. Mr. Blumenthal, and now they'll tell you, a Democrat, now running for the United States Senate, never served in Vietnam. He obtained at least 5 military deferments from 1965 to 1970, and he took repeated steps that enabled him to avoid going to war. And it's all on the record books. Representative Mark Schroeder, Republican, I said Republican, from Indiana, plans to announce his resignation today amid allegations that he had an affair with a female staff member. The 8-term representative was elected in 1994 as a family values conservative. The female staffer It was female. The female staffer worked in his district office, according to the network. Sauter has been married since 1974. He has 3 grown children. A couple of stories that I should have reported yesterday or the day before even. You know, I should have come in here on Sunday and given you this report. The North American Aerospace Defense Command says 2 F-16 fighter planes intercepted an ultralight aircraft near the U.S.-Mexico border in southwest Arizona. The plane crossed from Mexico into Arizona Sunday. NORAD dispatched 2 F-16s from Davis Mountain Air Force Base in Tucson, and they shadowed the ultralight for about 30 minutes until it flew back into Mexico. Lieutenant Commander Gary Ross says he was unaware of any radio contact with the small plane. Ultralight aircraft are sometimes used to carry drugs and other contraband across the border. NORAD responds about 200 times a year to aircraft flying without radio contact or in restricted airspace, but Ross says it's not typical for the command center to intercept an ultralight. Ross could not provide further details why F-16s were sent to intercept that aircraft on Sunday. Now, a Mexican military a Mexican military helicopter has been caught flying over the Texas skies for the 3rd time in the past 2 months. U.S. Customs Border Protection confirmed that officers spotted the helicopter by the Roma International Bridge. 2 other Mexican military helicopters were seen near Falcom Dam and Star and Zapata counties, and that was back in April. CBP officials confirmed that the helicopter was in the United States airspace for just a few moments. Well, how long does it take to drop a bag? The Reverend Jeremiah Wright, Barack Obama's controversial former pastor, has said in a letter which was obtained by the Associated Press that he is, quote, toxic to the Obama administration, and that the president, quote, threw me under the bus. In his strongest language to date about the administration's 2-year-old rift with Chicago pastor, Wright told a group raising money for African relief that his pleas to release frozen funds for use in the earthquake-ravaged Haiti would be ignored. No one in the Obama administration will respond to me, listen to me, talk to me, or read anything that I write to them. I am toxic in terms of the Obama administration, Wright wrote the president of Africa 6000 International earlier this year. I am radioactive, sir. When Obama threw me under the bus, he threw me under the bus literally. Any advice that I offer is going to be taken as something to be avoided. Please understand that. Now, here's an interesting story. There was some rich irony at the White House Monday. President Obama signed the Press Freedom Act. The Press Freedom Act, then promptly refused to take any questions. The new law expands the State Department's annual Human Rights Report to include a description of press freedoms in each country. Well, it seemed a good opportunity to showcase press freedom in this country. If you recall that last Friday the president refused to take any questions after delivering his angry statement on the oil spill in the Rose Garden. And he's not held a primetime White House news conference in many, many months, despite much pleading from pundits and members of the media. So, after he signed the bill and the press wranglers began aggressively herding us out of the room, this reporter asked if he still has confidence in BP. He ignored the question, so the reporter tried this. In the interest of press freedom, would you take a couple of questions on BP? And they say that did elicit a smile, and